In this video, I'd like to talk about integration after psychedelics experience. So it's been the most challenging phase for most people after a profound psychedelic experience, because oftentimes the experience that people received when they are under psychedelics or kind of strong plant medicine or ceremonies, most of the time it's quite strong and abstract. It's difficult to make sense sometimes. That's why integration actually starts even before the ceremony. Integration starts when you set your intention. So if you don't have an intention of coming, because I already talked about what intention versus expectation is in the other video, you can have a look at that in the description below. But integration process starts even before the ceremony, even before the role, even before the experience, by thinking thoroughly about your intention of why you are doing this experience, of why you participate in this ceremony. Once you have your intention will be kind of like the flag that you put it out there. Okay, this is what I'm here for, but not for anything in particular, but to find out the answer, or to find out how can I go to that point, or how can I know certain thing. So without expectation, the integration process is going to be extra difficult, because you have no purpose in the first place of coming, or why you don't even know why you're taking this. You don't even know why you come into a ceremony, and then after the ceremony you expected to find out the answer. That's pretty much impossible, really, because you don't have any kind of question in the first place. If you don't have any purpose in the first place, why there should be anything meaningful to you after the ceremony? So the integration itself starts even before the ceremony by setting your intention. You need to have a clear intention of why you're doing this. So for example, if you are entering the ceremony with wanting to find out how can I be a better person, or how can I know truth about the universe, or how can I know who I am, or something like that. So with that kind of intention, and with experience, when you have the experience that is mostly abstract and doesn't really make sense, but your intention somehow going to bring you into the center line and be able to direct you toward the question that you have. Okay, if you're here to find out who am I, or what the universe is, or how can I be a better person, whatever experience that you have, it's going to give you a hint into that direction of finding out about the question that you have. You may not be able to make sense of that right away after you come out from the trip. Spend time with yourself a little more. I recommend finding a notebook and write down your experience word by word, even though it doesn't make sense. Even though you feel like I'm seeing this geometry, which is kind of like gibberish, doesn't really make sense, still write it down. If you remember the shape, you write it down, you draw it. If you get to see, maybe a snake or a tiger or an alien or spaceship or whatever it is, just write it down. If you can draw it, make it as detailed, as vivid as you can, even though it doesn't make sense, anything, because you're not going to publish that, right? So just for your personal note, just write it down, because the psychedelic experience sometimes it can be like a dream as well, because people forget things after a few hours even. So it's better to write down as soon as you can. So write down, jot note. If it doesn't make sense to you, it's fine. And then after you write it down, you close the notebook and just sit with yourself. Find somewhere quiet, preferably in the nature, and then just be with yourself and kind of like revisit that experience in your mind together with your intention, right? The same intention that you had for that particular experience. So, for example, how can I be a better person? Okay, you think about it. You revisit the experience and holding on your intention of how can I be a better person. And then somehow your brain is going to start connecting the dots between experience that you get that may sound like scattered points of something that doesn't really make any sense, but your intention will start to connect the lines and to start to form like a shape that you can recognize. Oh, maybe it needs to do this, maybe it needs to do that, maybe it needs to be like this or like that. So any kind of interpretation that you can come out with this connecting the dot that you have in your head, if it doesn't make sense, you don't need to believe that. If it doesn't make sense, just leave it and put it somewhere else. But if it makes sense to you and it doesn't hurt yourself, it doesn't hurt anyone, it doesn't cost you arms and legs to do it, so you can, okay, why don't I give it a try and see if it would really make me a better person, or it would really make me get closer to where or who I want to be. Anything like that. If it makes sense, you can give it a try. If it doesn't make sense, put it somewhere in the drawer and maybe write a note in the same notebook that you have when you write down your experience and come back and read it some other days. It might mean something to you. It may not mean exactly word by word to that, but it can give you a hint or a glimpse of something that is more meaningful to you at the time. Just like when you read the Bible, for example. Stories in the Bible doesn't really make sense. For me, some of the story even feels like a psychedelic trip even, which it doesn't really make sense. But, people said, every time when they just open the page randomly and just read the verse randomly, somehow it means something to me. Same thing for your notebook. Same thing for, the journal that you wrote down about your experience or maybe your interpretation of it. Somewhere at some point in time down the road, it might mean something to you. That will be your own Bible, in a way. Also, try to stay in the same vibration of the medicine that you're taking. For example, if you've been taking ayahuasca, for example, ayahuasca, mushroom, LSD, or whatever medicine is, every medicine has their own unique frequency, their own unique feeling that I would recommend you to keep this feeling as long as you can. At least a few days, 3 or 4 days, something like that. The reason you want to do that is because if you interrupt this feeling with something else, like alcohol or cannabis or whatever it is, or pornography or whatever it is, you're basically going to forget. You're going to make yourself forget the feeling from the experience. And once you forget, it's difficult for you to revisit those and make sense of that experience. Right? So maybe if you just came out of ayahuasca experience and you already have certain feeling in your body, in your psyche, or whatever it is, keep it there. Just be with yourself, keep it there for as long as you can. Right? At least 3 or 4 days, preferably about a week. And during that time, do the self-contemplation, maybe meditate on, and you can continue working as usual. You can continue meeting people as usual, but strongly recommend that you continue practice mindfulness practice that you already been doing. Like if you already practicing meditation or yoga or Tai Chi or any kind of exercise or sports or anything at all that can put you into the present moment, right? You continue doing that, particularly right after the medicine. Let's say you've been doing yoga, even simple one. Actually, yoga, the simpler, the better, because there'll be a lot more detail for you to notice from such a simple pose. Whereas if your pose start to get too complex and things like that, you're going to be too worried about how the pose is going to look, or is correct or not. Just keep it simple, like Shavasana or something. So as simple as you can. And after the medicine, you continue doing this routine again, even though it may not mean much, but somehow your body might give you a new feeling. And that new feeling from the body might give you some insight that you can make sense in line together with your intention. So keep that energy from the medicine for a few more days. Do not interrupt with any other medicine that's only going to make it too confusing for you, and finding out the meaning will be even more challenging. So yeah, and always be in the nice and calm environment if you can. But if you cannot, practice equanimity. Do not prefer anything in particular, anything that's come and go, even though it's not your choice. Just accept it and see what it means to you. Maybe something that you previously think that you don't like, but if somehow it gets into your life without any intention, it might be a sign for the universe to tell you something that, oh, maybe why don't you give this a try or give that a try. So that being said, after the psychedelic experience, the energetic field will start to open. That means opportunity will start to come. And when opportunity comes, you don't get to choose because it's the will of the universe. So leave yourself open. Maybe you, after the ceremony, after the experience, you get to meet someone you never met before and start talking about the topic that you had no interest previously. Just give yourself a chance and see if that might be a new door for you. So allow yourself into the flow. If anyone invites you to go somewhere, to experience something, to meet someone or anything like that, and if you see like it will do no harm to anyone, okay, give it a shot and see what happens. Maybe this new person that you're going to meet might lead you to someplace else that will bring you to the next level. So surrender to life and open it to the flow. Do not rush to do anything. Even though you might have a strong message that, oh, okay, I get this message, I need to go to India now and go to this particular town, this particular shop in order to meet someone at 11:11, something like that. So if it is so clear like that, just know that if it is that clear, most likely it's not true. All right. And even if it is that crazy for you to have to buy a ticket to India, whereas you don't think you are ready, you don't need to do it, right? That thing can happen somewhere else, maybe somewhere closer to home, and just the matter of energies, it may, just your ego interpret this energy to be India or to be this particular town or to this particular person. It may not be that particular country, town, or person, but can be something else that energetically is similar, for example. So you don't need to fix your mind into anything literally. Okay, so in particular, if you feel like you need to rush to do things, please don't. Please don't. If it doesn't make sense to you, please don't. But if it makes sense to you, and if you feel strongly the strong urge of wanting to do that, okay, give it a try and see what happens. So, but if it doesn't make sense, again, you don't need to do it, and just allow yourself in the flow. Never rush to anything. Open yourself to new opportunities that comes. Another thing is that because there's been research in science confirmed that after any strong psychedelic experience, people that their brain is going to develop better neuroplasticity, meaning that now the first week after psychedelic experience, your brain will become more capable of becoming more malleable, which means whatever new skill you're looking to learn, like you want to play a new instrument or new languages, meeting new people, or whatever new skill that you wanted to learn. At first week after the role is actually the best time to give yourself a try. We have many incidents that our people been wanting to learn this instrument, that instrument, to learn this language. Right after the psychedelic experience, they'll be able to absorb that knowledge a lot quicker because their tendency is to surrender to the knowledge. Basically, their cup has been emptied. So when the cup is emptied, it's easier for anything new that's coming. So that can be a useful tool to you learning new skill, to help you integrate as well. And always watch what you eat, not like literally, well, you should too, but I mean, be careful of what you eat too. Don't eat anything that your body doesn't like or will potentially make you sick or make you ill. Always stick with healthy, clean, as light as possible. So you don't need to be a complete vegan or vegetarian or anything like that. You can still eat meat. I prefer like Taoist diet that they recommend 20% meat, 80% vegetable. So find your own balance as well, because once you can find balance in your body, and once you eat balance, your body will become balanced. When your body becomes balanced, your mind will become balanced and centered, and that will help you with the integration as well. And make sure you have enough sleep, enough rest, enough quiet time for yourself, also enough social time as well. Adjusting the balance in your life so that you don't feel overwhelmed or you don't feel left alone. So there are many Facebook group or forum for integration as well. So if you are interested, you can be a part of that and see if you can help them or they can help you. So it's not just a one person job, this kind of thing. So this is what I can think of so far. But if I can think of anything else, I'll let you know and make another video, because I don't. It's a big topic that will take time. But as far as I realize that these are the important things, that's why I put this out there for you guys to take into consideration. So if you have any question or suggestion or anything, feel free to drop me a line in the comment, and also in the description I'm going to put a link on the Facebook group that we'll put together for the integration for those who just came out of the plant medicine ceremonies. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much.